Hey everyone, and welcome back to we're at episode 4, right? Yeah, episode 4 of the Warp Zone, where we take a look at all the gaming news with obviously a Nintendo Switch focus. And yet again, I know I've said it pretty much every week since we've started the podcast on Monday nights, but yet again, it's going to be a packed show tonight. Nintendo pretty much did it to me again. Huge announcement. We're going to be going over it. But yes, there is going to be a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. And although, it's not like the week wasn't already packed enough, the good news is I'm going to be there streaming it. So for anyone who wants to watch the Nintendo Direct together tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. to 9:45 we'll be starting streaming, and at 10 a.m. Eastern time we're going to be picking it up. But we'll get into that when we look at the news, but I will be there streaming. We're also going to go over Gamescom 2024 because last week the podcast is on Monday, Gamescom started on Tuesday. So we're actually going to go over all the games that were announced at least in trailers that are coming to the Nintendo Switch. So we're going to look at all the trailers, we're going to look at all those games, try to weed out which are the ones we should be looking out for. We've got also a few other little announcements, like some new Lego Mario's Kart sets and other things like that. And as usual, we're always going to be ending with the upcoming games for the next week on the Nintendo Switch, and those that I think we should be keeping an eye on. Obviously, as I say every time, not an exhaustive list, but it is definitely those that I think stood out from the pack. So I'm glad to see some people are getting in here now. Hey, Wild One, Anthony Nelson, Frenchy Mom, Nanaki, welcome, guys. By the way, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps send out the stream to more people. The more people we are, the funner it's going to be. More action in the chat and whatnot. So I thought we would start with the big announcement. This week, let's just start with the big news. Why? Because we're going to talk about it for the first few minutes, but at the same time, I think the big excitement is going to be tomorrow. So let's switch over and take a look. We're going to dive in because we've got so much stuff this week that I want to try and keep it nice, tight, and flowing. And you'll see I've set some things up. We should be even flowing more than the past few weeks. So obviously, this tweet came out today at 10 a.m. Join us tomorrow, August 27th at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time, for an Indie World showcase followed by a Nintendo Direct partner showcase. So it's a 2-for-1, guys. Not only are we getting a Nintendo Direct partner showcase, but we're also getting an Indie World in one. The live stream featuring both presentations back to back will be roughly 40 minutes in total. And once again, just to highlight it, because it is so funny that Nintendo has been doing this at each and every tweet lately. Just look at the first reply from Nintendo of America. Please note, there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during either of these presentations. So if anyone was excited about, oh my god, it's the Nintendo Switch 2, forget it. Anyway, it would never be in a partner showcase Indie World. It would just be like a direct, or it would actually be like a launch event. But it is funny that Nintendo is still including this in each one of their tweets because they don't want the chat probably spammed with, oh, Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch 2. So we're going to have an Indie World partner showcase. Honestly, I'm trying to think of what games have not yet been announced. To be honest, I do think that most of this showcase, if I'm going with my gut here, are going to be confirmation dates on games we already know about. There most likely are going to be a few surprises, but I think we're more going to be confirming dates for games that we've seen, but dates haven't been confirmed during Gamescom. Basically, these are all the Gamescom, confirmations, most likely, that Nintendo said, why are we going to pay Gamescom when we can just do our event the week after? and get as many people watching our live stream. And hey, guess what? It costs us absolutely nothing to do it this way. And most likely these partners and whatnot are paying Nintendo instead. So it's like a win-win for them. Now, personally, I threw out a few ideas here. Mina the Hollower, I'd really like to get a date on that because that is a game from the makers of Shovel Knight that I'm super excited to play. It's like a top-down. It almost plays like Zelda Minish Cap, okay, in a way, or like the or old Zelda games, but it's like a dungeon crawler where you're playing as a mouse, and it just seems to be pure dungeon crawling. From what I see, there's like no overworld, and you're just crawling through dungeons the whole time. It looks absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to play that one. On top of it, it's coming from one of my favorite developers. So I am super excited about that one. And I'm really hoping we're getting a release date because it's supposed to be coming out sometime soon. Another one that I took down is Sega is supposed to make some major announcement about a game that they haven't announced yet that's coming out. And Sega and Nintendo right now have a pretty good partnership going. This might be where they're going to announce it. So perhaps that unheard of Sega game that's supposed to be launching pretty soon that we haven't heard about, that's apparently not within the 5 IPs that they presented on the sort of retro returning games like Golden Axe and whatnot. I think we might hear about that. But I'd like to hear in the chat, what do you guys think are a game that we're going to hear about tomorrow in the indie world or the Nintendo Partner Showcase? Is there something that you guys are passionate about? Now, obviously, like the Silk Song, but I don't think it's going to happen. Like, if it happens, it's going to be like balls to the wall crazy, but I don't think we're going to be hearing about Silk Song. Yeah, because they just like, personally, I don't see how they wouldn't have done that at Gamescom. No matter how tight they are with Nintendo, Infinity Nikki, yeah, that could be one too. Maybe it could be coming to the Switch. You think it's going to be Switch 2 for Silk Song? I think it might be Switch 2 as well for Silk Song. Maybe. Although I'll be honest, Hollow Knight didn't really have any running issues on Switch 1, and Silk Song, although the gameplay feed seems different, they seem to be basing a lot of the overall engine and running style off of Hollow Knight's engine. But at least from what we saw of the preview gameplay so far. But you're right, they could be reserving that for Nintendo Switch 2. Maybe they're doing some kind of behind the scene thing. Maybe they're going to be upping the graphics even more, but I'm not really sure how more polished you can get in that art style. That's the one thing that is sort of like putting me on the other end. Monster Hunter Wilds. Exactly, Julian. I would love to hear about it, but that would be Nintendo Switch 2. If we start hearing games being announced for Nintendo Switch 2, or if we hear that Monster Hunter Wilds are coming to Nintendo consoles in 2025, that could be a way that they would present it. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think they will do that till Nintendo presents the console. Like, I just don't see them putting in a partner showcase. Why would they steal their thunder? You know what I mean? By announcing games before Nintendo announces their games. But I would love to see Wilds as well, because for the moment, I'm very sad that, like, we don't know when we're getting the next one. Quidditch Champions, your Hogwarts Legacy. You know what? You could be totally right. I do think we're going to see Quidditch Champions tomorrow, most likely in the partner showcase. You are totally right. I don't know if they're going to squeeze in a Pokemon announcement, because don't forget that Nintendo, I know sometimes they do Pokemon directs, but the Pokemon company, Nintendo, sort of considers them like a partner, although, you know, like a lot of people consider them Nintendo. I think Nintendo considers them a partner, and I wouldn't be surprised that we might get an update on the new Pokemon game there. I have a blank on the name of it there, but the whole thing where they're drawing the city and whatnot. Because we haven't had an update on that game in a little while, and I don't think they talked much about it during the Pokemon World Championships, which I find odd. I think they sort of restated things, but I don't think we got much new footage or anything like that. Um, Legend ZA, thank you so much for the help with the title there. But I think maybe we could see that as well. Either way, I think it's going to be exciting. 40 minutes is a lot. And I'm sort of glad that they're combining these two things together. I don't know about you, but I think this is the right move in the sense that rather than doing a 20-minute indie world or a 20-minute like partner showcase that gets people hyped but maybe aren't going to hit for everyone, I think that combining these two things most likely is going to guarantee that there's games that are going to hit with everyone, and it's actually not a bad idea. And I could actually see Nintendo doing this more often in the future. And I think it's maybe not that much of a bad idea. Most likely they're going to continue doing separate ones, but if like from time to time they line two of these up, it would make actually perfect sense. And you know, yeah, maybe more about grave seasons. I've been dying to see more about that. That would be a good one to see more about. And we're gonna take a look at the Gamescom trailers because I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of the Gamescom trailers that talked about the Switch might be doubled up here. So we actually might see tonight, by going over the Gamescom trailers, we might be seeing a lot of games that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And if that happens, it's going to be okay, but I'm going to be slightly like on a downer for that because I think a lot of people that were following Gamescom have already seen these. But that's the other thing that we have to like, be careful about, is that that could happen. By the way, I didn't do this yet. I was waiting for the stream tonight, but let's like it and repost. On a side note, by the way, if any of you are not following my Instagram, I would really enjoy it if you do. I'm going to make sure the link is up on the channel, but a lot of you asked me about my cooking last week, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of the non-gaming stuff on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing more gaming stuff as well, but I'm also going to be sharing non-gaming stuff on Instagram. And if you join right now, you're going to see the burger I made for the family yesterday was amazing. I didn't share the recipe for the beef patty, but I might do that later. If you guys want to hear the recipe for the beef patty, I don't think it's anything mega crazy. Yeah, I do have an Instagram. I just hardly ever used it. But I'm going to try and use it for more fun stuff that maybe sometimes goes outside of the gaming stuff. But that is the news for the Nintendo Direct. Honestly, I don't think we need to talk about it anymore because in about 10 hours, we will be live. Give me a sec. I'm going to make sure that the link isn't on in my links on the YouTube channel. Community. Is it in community? Where the heck is it? No, it's yeah, 5 more links here. It's here. I think it's Rick MS Gaming something or another. Yeah, it's Rick MS Gaming. But it's in the chat. It's on the channel. So if you go to the channel page here, you can see 5 more links. You have Instagram, you have Twitter, you even have Facebook groups. But Facebook groups, I'm like not into it. I don't like the way they do it. It's annoying me, and Facebook itself annoys me for a lot of stuff. Like, either way. But yeah, you guys, I would appreciate, you can check out the burger. You're gonna see really good. What's your name? My name is, well, I go by Rick. So, but if you're looking for, the burger looks good. It was good. Trust me. It actually is underwhelming visually, but a lot of work went into it. Like I said. A lot of work went into it, caramelizing the onions. Yeah, you can call me Rick. You can call me Maple. My full first name is Ricardo, though, but I always use Rick. Like, even my family calls me Rick. No one calls me the full name except people at work. Okay, so let's move on to story number 2. Now, we are going to start with the Lego stuff before we move into the trailers, because there are a crap ton of trailers tonight to look at. And I'm hoping that not all of them have freaking copyrighted music, because last week I had to mute 1 or 2 of the trailers after the stream because a couple of them had copyrighted music in it. But let's go look at the article for the release of the Mario Kart sets. This comes to us a courtesy of an article written by Nintendo Life. By the way, after the stream tonight, all of the links are going to be in the description of the stream. So if ever you want to check out any of the links yourself, you can always check them out afterwards. Now, Mario, this is actually... I'm sort of happy with what they did here, but at the same time, they've made a couple of weird decisions, but I know why they made them. Perfect. So let's go take a look at the Mario Kart sets. So if you guys don't know, I love Lego as well. I collect Lego, especially the gaming themed Legos. I have to pick up the new Sonic sets. They came out like last month. I've been waiting because I think I want to save and pick up the Deku tree first, because that's a more limited set. The Sonic sets, I'm pretty sure I can pick up like in 2-3 months on sale. But we're going to take a quick look through the Lego stuff. We're not going to spend too much time on this. But for anyone interested, basically, these are new Lego sets from Mario Kart. Now, I was expecting them to actually run on a track or stuff. For the moment, there's nothing like that. So if that's what you were expecting, I just want to be honest with you. For the moment, it is not going to be like that. I'm going to get the tree. The only thing is it's going to be a little late. It's not going to be on release because it's the same month as the Switch Lite from the Zelda Switch Lite and the new Zelda game. So honestly, budget-wise, the tree just didn't fit in the same month. Exactly. Yes, we're going to talk about the new Animal Crossing sets as well, Crafty Cookie. You're ahead of me. You're ahead of me here. But... we're going to go look at the sets. Okay, so theoretically, they're coming out on January 1st of 2025. And our first set that we're getting here is Yoshi. Now, actually, this I find a really fun set. It is supposed to be retailing for $14.99, which puts it at a really budget price point. And what I really like here is you're getting a bike, you're getting a character, and you're getting a few accessories. And I think that especially for someone that just wants a little display piece or something, this is decent value. It is expensive, but the gaming themed sets, because they have they have to basically pay for the licenses, it's always going to be expensive when you compare them to other Lego sets. But it's actually not too bad at 133 pieces for $15. And I find you get a nice mix of stuff here. You get a full vehicle and you get a full character. And it's an interesting character because it's a Yoshi. You're going to see my sort of gripe with these new releases are going to be a couple of the sets that don't have like main characters in them, which are coming up second. But that is maybe my main that's going to be my main gripe. And the second one is right away one of those 2 sets. But there's a reason why they did this, and I'll explain it in a few seconds. Next, we have the Mario Kart Standard Kart, which is a slightly larger set. It's going to have 174 pieces, and it's going to sell for $19.99. The problem here is you're only getting a Toad figure. You're getting nothing else figure-wise. You're not getting any of the mainline characters outside of Toad. Now, the reason why they did this is that this set is compatible with the electronic Mario, Luigi, and Peaches that they came out with the starter sets. Okay? The problem is that those sets were extremely expensive because of those figures. So the reason they did not include them here in the sets was to hit budget price points. If they included a Mario in this set, I'm telling you right away, this set would have been like $60. okay? Because those starter sets, if you've ever bought one, I have one, parts wise, they are garbage. They are really bad value. However, the digital Mario is worth like more than half the set. Like those sets sold for here in Canada around $75, and basically 50 of those $75 is the electronic Mario. 25 bucks are the other parts on the course, and they're actually not that good. If you look at the value of parts, they're not that good, but the electronic Marios are extremely expensive, I think, for Lego to produce, and therefore they didn't include them here because they're banking on people having the starter sets if you're already a Mario fan. So you're supposed to put your Mario starter, Mario electronic in this cart, which is why he's not included. And if they would have included him, it would have pushed the price up to crazy levels. And that's not, I think, what they're aiming here with the set. The burger looks delicious. Everyone's like checking out the burger now. Awesome. Next, we have one of my favorites of the release, and this set I'm definitely going to pick up, and that is the Donkey Kong and Donkey Jumbo set. This one is going to be retailing for $35. 387 pieces. Value-wise, this is actually one of the best sets in this Lego set, and basically, you're getting a full-sized Donkey Kong, which is really awesome because before that you had to buy the Donkey Kong store if you wanted that Donkey Kong buildable figure, and you're getting the Donkey Kong barrel cart, which I just love visually. Visually, this is amazing because it reminds me of those freaking minecart levels that we all hate. But hate to love, love to hate. Love to hate would be the way to say it. But favorite set, it looks good. Good parts value, considering that it's a licensed set. And I think overall, if you're going to get only one of these, this would maybe be a decent one to get as a small display piece. Next, we have probably the cutesy set. We have the Mario Kart Baby Mario and Baby Luigi retailing for $30, 321 pieces. Value-wise, once again, not too bad. But I think this is going to be the cutesy set for a lot of people. I love the Baby Mario and Baby Luigi buildable figures. However, I feel a little underwhelmed by the carts. Do they represent carts that are available in the games? Yes, they do. But I'm just underwhelmed visually. These aren't my favorite carts to play with. So I'm a little bit less like excited about the carts in this set. So I like the baby figures, less the carts. But once again, I think on a cutesy level, a lot of people are going to want this set. Next, we get my second to least favorite set, which is once again the Mario Kart Toad's Garage. 390 pieces for $39.99. Once again, though, no main character included, because once again, this is another one of those sets that they want you to combine with these starter figures. So same thing, we're not going to go over the same explanation. It just sucks that you're not getting any main characters. And Topaz has come because she loves Mario Kart as well, so she wants to see the Mario Kart set. At least this time you're getting two Toads with it, but at the same time, without a main character, to me, it's hard for me to feel like it's justified. And like you see here, because all the main characters, the only, like, out of Mario, Luigi, and Peach, you're always getting the baby versions in this set. So this is the pure proof that they want you to combine it with the starter set from the normal Mario sets. And now the big boy is here, the Mario Kart Baby Peach and Grand Prix set, 823 pieces for $79.99. Parts-wise, for value, they're actually doing a lot better than the Animal Crossing sets. Okay, we'll see them in a few seconds, but they're doing a lot better. I love that you're getting Iggy. This is Iggy, right? I think it's Iggy. But I love the coupoling here that we're getting. We're getting a regular Toad character, and we're getting the freaking B cart, which is probably an amazing visually cart to have. So I actually like this set because of the three vehicles we're getting. the start here and whatnot. Now, I was hoping that they would actually put some type of bigger electronic interaction, but yeah. Great Minds Wild. Add this to the things he hates. Man, that list is going to be pretty intense. So I don't know about you guys. I am excited where we're going into Mario Kart. I'm just maybe less excited for the way they're pushing these sets, because I think that all of these should be coming with a main character. Now, let's jump into the three Animal Crossing sets, once again set for January. Then we're going to move on to more gaming focused stuff. But I do like talking about these Lego things, because this is pretty much the only place on the channel that we can talk about them without dedicating a whole video to them. So let's look at the Animal Crossing sets. Now, they're doing the complete opposite. They are banking on the characters to sell the sets. The sets themselves are super bad value, but the freaking minifigures are so adorable that almost everyone is going to be picking them up just because they want a full set of minifigures. I'm telling you guys right away, on eBay, these minifigures are going to be selling for super expensive, but yeah. And especially our Celeste here in the middle. Like, this is gonna be the winner. If you can get your hands on one of these, it is going to be super expensive, especially because the set that it comes with is a little garbagey, but it is nonetheless going to sell for $9.99 for 78 pieces, which is not god-awful, but it is not good, especially considering how simple it's going to be. But you get Celeste. I am glad, though, that they are not making you buy a $100 set to get Celeste. Okay? And this is maybe going to keep her price slightly lower than it would have been. If she would have been in a huge set, it would have been very expensive. But you're getting like a little moon here, table, telescope, and a tree. Like, no joke, this is like bare bones. Bare bones. Like, they could have put this in a little bag rather than a box, and like sell it for $5, and it would have made better sense. Yes, I am streaming the direct grovel tomorrow. You missed the announcement at the beginning, but yes, tomorrow between 9:30 and 9:45 I will be here. We will be streaming, which is why I actually don't want to finish too late tonight. Because if we finish at 1 a.m. like we normally do, that literally means that 8 hours later, I have to be streaming again. And I love streaming, but I also want to have energy to stream. Let's go to the second one then. So second one is actually going to be Leaf's Caravan and Garden Shop. I actually really like the concept on this one. It's just, once again, parts-wise, we're at 263 parts for $29.99. Not good value, but I love the set. I love the set itself. I love the visuals on it. By the way, if you go to the Lego website, you can get a lot more images of the inside, the outsides. I just didn't want to spend an hour on the Lego sets tonight, which is why I'm using the awesome articles from Nintendo Life. Once again, shouts out to them. They do a really good job of putting all this stuff together in a super visually compact form, and I get a lot. I checked out their site regularly for, to keep on top of stuff. So they do a super good job. But I love the visuals on the set, just not loving the price point. As usual, these Animal Crossing sets are terrible for that, okay? And I have all of Wave 1, okay? So I bought them. I know it's awful. And lastly, we have the Able Sisters clothing shop. I think this would have deserved a bigger set. Not gonna lie. But $39.99 for 322 pieces. The house is very small. The inside does not have a lot of furnishings. I'm gonna pick it up because it's coming with one of the Able sisters, and I forget the name of the bunny, but it's probably written down here. Either way, I forgot that character's name, but it's the bunny that I never take. So, Sasha, thank you so much, Frenchie Mom. You're awesome. But I love also that we're getting a peach tree for the first time. I'm pretty sure this is a first time peach tree. I have to go through the other sets because I don't have wave 2 yet of the Animal Crossing sets. But I think this is the first time we're getting a peach tree in the Animal Crossing sets. Unless this is supposed to be a pear tree, but no, they would put the pears greens. No, and I'm pretty sure they already have one. I have to check my old sets. But yeah, so that is pretty much the 3 new sets from Animal Crossing. There is a wave 2. We went over that earlier in another video or another stream. But honestly, at least they're aiming this time at more budget sets, which not every set is almost more than $50. But at the same time, I just really wish they would make this a little bit better value. And especially the iconic shops like the Able Sister shop, like Nook's Cranny, like the Dodo Airlines. You've got to make these stellar sets that really, match the source material. So there we have it. Lego Animal Crossing, Lego Mario Kart. We are done with the Lego stuff for tonight. So let's jump into directly into Gamescom. And before we get to the actual gaming stuff, there are 2 announcements that came out of Gamescom that we have to look at. One of my favorite movie franchises of all times. You can watch these movies over and over again, and they just make you feel the beauty of heroism. And that is Lord of the Rings. And yes, we are getting a new entry, a new movie in the Lord of the Rings. Well, I think it's going to be a series, actually. We're going to see in the trailer, because I watched it with one eye. All of these trailers, by the way, I know all about them, but I have not watched them in their fullness because I wanted to have a fresh reaction tonight. So I picked out all the trailers, but I waited to watch them till we were here tonight. But War of the Rhohirrim is going to be Lord of the Rings done anime style. And yeah, Lord of the Rings, honestly, if we're talking about movies, like franchises, they're peak. They're probably the only movie franchise that I would put above the best Marvel movies. Now, I do a division between good Marvel and bad Marvel because there's been bad Marvel now. But like Lord of the Rings, it just hits on every level. And it is so honest to the source material. I've read all the books. I read all the books like 20 years before the movies came out. I read them when I was like 14. I fell in love with that world, and the movies brought it to life. Is everything there? Is everything identical to the books? No, but the essence of the franchise is there. The heart is there. But yeah, let's watch War of the Rhohirrim, and then we'll talk about what we saw. Theaters this Christmas. Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. I'm really glad to know Peter Jackson is involved. I don't know what level of involvement he's going to have, but that is at least letting me hope that this is going to have the same heart as the original movies. And to me, that's the most important thing about Lord of the Rings. Like if you saw Rings of Power, that's what was lacking. The series just didn't feel like Lord of the Rings. It felt like fantasy, but not Lord of the Rings fantasy. Now, I'm hoping that season 2 is going to get things back on track. But this, when I heard that this was coming out as and now that I know it's a theater release anime, not going to lie, I'm going to be there day one watching this. And we're most likely going to do a review or talk about it on the channel because it looks good. It looks good. The one thing that I'm maybe not seen from this is the light. I'm trying to explain this, but in Lord of the Rings, I think what sets it apart from a lot of other fantasy is no matter how bad Hold on, give me just a second here. I just have to read something. Okay, but we're commenting over it. That's a little weird. Okay, because I got basically a warning that says that we're watching content that is copyrighted, so I am guaranteed I'm going to get this get this blocked. But hopefully you guys could see all of it. But it's really weird because you're allowed to comment this stuff, so it's weird that we can't watch it. But I guess we're gonna have to watch it when it's these huge franchises, huge franchises. So anyway, whatever. In the future, I'm gonna try to maybe do a better way of doing these so that we don't get that kind of warning. Yeah, well, YouTube mods are coming. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know, but we're here. We're reacting to the video, so I don't think it's gonna go to like strike or anything. It's just most likely I'm gonna have to mute the trailer after this, which is simply what I'm gonna do. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I just wanted to read because it's the first time I see the message coming while you're streaming, but we're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. Getting back, to the comments. Great. Honestly, what I was saying is that Lord of the Rings always has a certain light to it, even in the darkest moments of Lord of the Rings, and you get that in the books too. There's always this sense of hope and hopefulness through the movies, and the fact that the good prevails is very important in Lord of the Rings. This seems a little bit dark at times, and I just don't want anti-heroes in Lord of the Rings. Anti-heroes have their place. I love anti-heroes. I'm a huge fan of the Punisher. I'm a huge fan of Venom. I'm a huge fan of a lot of anti-heroes. Just not in my Lord of the Rings, because that was the essence of Lord of the Rings, that dignity, honor, and all these things will shine above all else, and you don't need to if you hold fast to those values, you will prevail. And I'm not saying that real life is like that, but that's the way Lord of the Rings is, and to me that is very important. But either way, this one looks freaking amazing. Now, we're going to watch the other trailer. Hopefully, I ain't going to get slammed again by something like that. But we are going to... we have to talk about this because my boy Mega Man is there. Yes, my boy Mega Man is there. If you did not see, we are also getting a brand new series, which is Secret Level. And it is looking freaking amazing as well. Yes, and we are getting a live action, or sort of like 3D animated live action style Mega Man. So this is something we have to see. I'm gonna risk the copyright block for this one. Let's watch it. If you did not see, this is the second non-gaming reveal from Gamescom that we had to look at. Okay, you know what this reminds me of? And if anyone knows this series, I'm going to be... Well, I'm sure you guys are going to know it because you're old. Like, I'm old. Reboot. Does anyone remember the 3D animated show Reboot? Now, I'm not saying that the show is going to look like Reboot. I'm saying that the concept reminds me of this. You seem to be playing a player character that has to jump into multiple different franchises and games. And although Reboot never used really like licensed material, the concept was there, where basically, Reboot happened inside a computer. Okay, but this is like 1990s view of computers, like after the Hackers movie, where people thought that when you go into computers you see like the Matrix and shit, which is like not at all the way programming or anything works. You don't see some green columns of crap floating around you. But so basically Matrix was like inside the computer there was a community of people that lived there, and there were guardians that guarded like viruses from infecting the different parts of the computer, and they did that by beating the viruses in video games. Okay, if we bring it down to the neutral part, and also beating the player. Like theoretically, the humans and the players were the bad guys in that show, because if the players beat all the sort of guardians, people got deleted from the city. It was weird as F in a sense. When you think about it, it was weird because people were actually the bad guys. Like players were actually the bad guys, and we had to not win or not finish the game. And basically, the characters of the shows were the NPCs. Okay, and you had this guy, the Bob the Guardian, that was like he was like the Omega level NPC, the sort of end boss character that beats your ass. The Melania, I always mess up her name. The of like every game, like that he just comes in there and rips you a new one. But basically, obviously this is like a huge evolution of that concept, but I'm feeling that it's something like that. Like a player gets sucked into this world, and he has to like maybe save each one of these different universes by becoming like the hero in the different worlds and teaming up with the main character of those games. Like we saw Kratos from God of War, we saw Mega Man, we saw like they flashed through all the series. We saw Sifu. Hold on, they're here. Like they flashed through them super quick. Sifu, Armored Core, New World Aeternium. You see Concord at one point too, which is freaking funny because Concord, like, there's more. Where did we see more? Or is it just because the frames are too quick? I think the frames are too quick for YouTube because YouTube scrubs at every second, and the frames are playing faster than one every second. So Pac-Man. Man, Pac-Man's going to be there. We just fell on the new frame. It's going to be insane. I'm hoping that it's going to be good. I do think, however, this is going to be like an episode by episode type thing where some episodes are probably going to be super hype and other episodes are going to be like maybe less hype, especially the ones about the gaming franchises that have not really picked up. Like I'm pretty sure I saw Concord in there, and Concord is dying, so I don't see anyone tuning in to that episode other than to laugh at it. But yeah, either way, this was the other non-gaming reveal that I got super hyped for. I'm very excited about this. It is going to be, yeah, it's a TV show. It's going to be on Prime. So Prime Video. So if you don't already have your Prime subscription, it's about time to renew it because I'm good. I've got mine, but I will definitely be checking this out. Okay. We need to get a Concord match going. Yeah, I'd rather get, no offense, guys, I'd rather get a match going in like a game that will have a future. And I'm not like, I haven't played the game, so I don't want to talk about the quality about the game. I don't like talking about the quality of games I haven't played, okay? But right now, the way the game is dying online, I wouldn't want to invest time into that game if you get it, because it's a online game. If the servers, like if the game doesn't make money, it's gonna die, and all the time you invest into it's gonna be like useless. But that is one of the first ones. Okay, let's jump into the gaming news now. So gaming news, we actually got a lot of trailers, although Nintendo Switch wasn't ever like at the forefront. Okay, so these trailers weren't like, hey, here's a new Switch game. They were like announced in general for multiple platforms. However, among those platforms, the Nintendo Switch was included. First of all, we have Sid Meier's Civilization 7. Now, this is a really long trailer, so we're not going to watch all of it. Okay? We're going to watch, like, the mid part where we start seeing some real gameplay. Either way, I you know, because like 3.5 minutes off, let's play it. Worst comes to worst, I might speed it along.
Civilization 7 has been a lift.
No dates yet for Rita's Revenge. Maybe we'll get that tomorrow. Maybe we get that tomorrow.
Ed came into this game, Ed Beach, the lead designer, with the intention of changing the way that we go about making a Civ game. He wanted to shift it slightly in one direction or the other, and make it so that our fans can't really lay out and predict exactly what we're going to be doing. One of his biggest disappointments is that every time we come out with an expansion pack, every time we're talking about a new game, inevitably our fans know what we're doing because it can fall into a pattern. They know that eventually we're going to need a government here. They know that the game's going to work, you know, X, Y.
10 a.m. Eastern time, 7 a.m. Pacific time. We will be streaming starting at 9:30, 9:45-ish.
Yield Z. So he wanted to change that up. And with the current design that he's delivering, combined with shipping on all platforms all at the same time.
Hey, Squirrel, how you doing?
This was a lift for the team.
My name is Ed Beach, and I am the creative director for Civilization 7. I love historical strategy games, whether it's a board game or a video game.
He only does those kind of games, so I'm like surprised why he loves them.
Civilization is the perfect game for me.
In Civilization, we're always trying to paint a positive picture of the world, highlight all of the great accomplishments that humanity has achieved.
That's not a diss, I'm just saying like that was like a given.
That's still true in Civilization 7. We're still highlighting the best things about each leader, about each civilization, and about each time period in history.
As a lifelong history nut, I've always been drawn to the franchise as a means of playing with history and trying to recreate history, but also creating alt history. Both of them together really allow for a rich playground to overall learn more about history and its narratives.
We always want Civilization to be a snapshot of what you as a person and the empire you build to be this forward-looking, beautiful, you know, shining light on a hill. And I think that even rides even better with Civilization.
Now, the one thing here, and this is because at first I was really surprised that this was being planned and running on the Switch. The graphics look about the same as Civilization 6. And that's most likely why it's going to be running on the Switch, because I don't think they reworked the graphics that much. If you look at this, it's very close. If you've played Civilization 6, visually it's looking very close to what we had in the previous game.
7. I love the new mechanics of new cultures emerging. I love the idea that everything you build is multicultural now. Different cultures contribute to other cultures, whether you want to or not. In the real world, everything you see when you look around you has been contributed to by multiple peoples and influenced throughout history by multiple cultures. I've always loved that about Civ. I love the fact that it's a positive game. It's not a negative game. The whole game isn't about what's worse in humanity. It's about what's best in humanity.
Civilization 7 still has a lot of the same gameplay that fans will know and love. So there's still a lot that's going to feel really familiar. We're still highlighting the best things about each leader, about each civilization, and about each time period in history. But of course, we're spinning it in a new way and adding new gameplay systems on top of it.
There's a ton of cool new stuff, and you're going to have to learn it all. It's a lot, but we feel like we're teaching it to you as you go along. And when you really dig in, you're going to see how deep this thing goes. And we're excited to say and really believe that this is the biggest Civ experience that we have ever shipped out of this studio.
So February 11, 2025. It's actually not that far off. I've always loved Civ games. I think, and I've never just gotten into them so much where I replay them over and over again. I often buy a Civ game, I'll play it like hardcore for a week or two, and then I just move on. That's the one thing for me. But I know that some people play Civ for months and months and months and never get tired of it. I just personally, like, once I've won in pretty much every different way you can win, I sort of get like, you know, well, at least the previous ones I found a lot of it was repetitive, but I'm looking forward. I would really like them to sort of like, and I know maybe it's hard, it's easy to say, but I think they need a refresh to refresh the core at this point and try and find something fresh. But we'll give this a chance because they're saying it'll be very different from previous Civilization games. I just have trouble paying full price for like a Civ game. I often wait till their game's been out for like a year or two, pick it up super cheap, play it hardcore for like I said a week or two, and then really just okay, I'm good. I know what Civ's all about. And I know it's maybe it's because I'm too much of an action junkie, but I've always been more of the like RTS fan when there's like action behind it, like Warcraft 3, like StarCraft 2, or I'm actually way more excited, like outside of Switch, I'm way more excited for what you might call it, the oh my god. The one with the where you play through the Olympian gods, it's the RTS freak. The worst is I still have the original game on PC. And I can't think of the freaking name. I'll come back to that later. No. It's Age of something, but it's Age of not Age of Legends, but Age of Mythology. Age of Mythology. Yes, once Kilos came out with it, pretty much as I say. Age of Mythology. And they're remastering it, they're remaking it. It looks really, really good. Really, really good. But that's outside of Switch. At least Switch 1. Maybe Switch 2 could run it, but I'd be surprised. Okay, let's jump into our next game, which is going to be Raven's Watch. Now, this actually looks pretty good. It also got a release date. So let's take a quick look and then basically share thoughts.
My forgotten legends. You are forgotten no more. No need to thank me. See how far you've come. Back to me! Here it comes!
To me, Raven's Watch. We've monsters to expel. Make me proud!
The fated moment approaches.
Get ready! Show me what you have become. Show the world what I've made of you!
Now, this is coming to... it's weird that it's not here, but it is supposed to be coming to Switch as well. It's just, like I said, it's not here, which is why I'm wondering if they're releasing the trailer for Switch in, like, the Partner Direct and stuff like that tomorrow. But it is releasing for Switch. It's a top-down, like, action RPG, okay? It's also a roguelike, so it's a cooperative action roguelike. Obviously, it looks like it has RPG mechanics to it, but it's going to be something that is really, like, I really like the blend of the art style with this type of gameplay. Like, the top-down gameplay, like Hades, yeah, Hades vibes. Like, obviously, when you see the top-down gameplay like this, Hades, but it actually reminds me more of Curse of the Dead Gods. If we look at the art style and the movement, because Hades has very quick, frantic movements, while if you've played Curse of the Dead Gods, it's much more thoughtful movement. And I'm not saying that Hades is thoughtless. It's that the movement is much more intentional. Each bad move you make in Curse of the Dead Gods is much harder to recover from than Hades. Hades you can sort of recover from through your reflexes and whatnot, while this one seems to be a little bit slower in the execution of the individual moves, and the animations seemed a lot slower. But that is not a bad thing. It's just a different gameplay style, and to me, it obviously Hades came out, but it also came out Curse of the Dead Gods. But I love this art style. The one thing maybe I was gonna say is I do find the colors a little muted. You know what I mean? Like the environments. I would have liked to maybe the environments feel a little more colorful from what I can see here, but nonetheless, I want to give it its chance because it might work out excellently. But I was just going to say, it just feels a little muted in the environments, but at the same time, they might be doing that specifically so that the enemies and their attacks stand out, so that they're easier to sort of deal with. In the sense that when everything's too colorful, it's hard to differentiate in these games sometimes the attacks and the enemies from the background. And when you only have a split second to make to have a reaction time, it might be they might be doing it purposefully for that reason. But this one looked extremely interesting. Next, the one thing also why Switch might not be there is they might have different release dates. It's supposed to be September 26th, right? I said September 26th, and then they say fall 2024, which is weird. Oh, okay. You see, yeah. So already there, September 26th is Steam, and then fall for PlayStation and Xbox. So I think the Switch date is not yet revealed, which is why we don't know, but this is scheduled for Switch. Hey, Acrophobe, how you doing tonight? Okay, next, let's look at the complete opposite, a game that looks whimsical and vibrant color-wise. Let's look at Caravan Sandwich, but not sandwich like a witch like the witch. For some reason, the trailer was bugging there, but okay. So like I said, this is going to get copyright struck again. So I'm going to talk over this music, okay, to lower the chances of that. Because they're not explaining the game anyway. So let's try and cheat the copyright system here. Obviously, it looks like an action-adventure game. I just so far, like, I have a hard time figuring out how the gameplay is going to be, though. Yeah, but it's sandwich, not sandwich like the ones you eat. So obviously, I think this is supposed to be the witch here at the end. And most likely, you know, she has some main point to do with the storyline. But we don't see much, but I do like the exploration and environments. Like I said, complete opposite of the previous game, a very colorful this one. There seems to be exploration aboard a vehicle, which I like because actually we haven't had a lot of that. Like, it would make sense though. You know, think of an open world adventure game, but aboard vehicles. Like, okay, take Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. People were building vehicles, you know, but this game you just have a vehicle to get around. The one thing I was wishing to see is we see no combat throughout the game. So either this game has no combat. However, we don't really see puzzle solving either. So I'm also wondering if this is like just a sort of exploration walking simulator. You know what I mean? But done in this style. If that is the case, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed because I like there to be like puzzles or combat, like something a little like, I don't like just exploration for exploring's sake. You have to give me a challenge while I'm exploring. Maybe it's a survival game though. You know, like maybe it'll be play because basically, unfortunately, it doesn't, in the description, it doesn't either really tell us much. It says, provided for its province punk sci-fi world, studio plain toast sci-fi driving adventure. You know what I mean? I need a little more meat than that. I need to know what am I going to be doing other than driving around. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking it's going to be journey-ish. But I'm thinking like walking/driving simulator style. So I love the visuals, just not too sure on what the gameplay is going to be delivering. Let's move on to our next one. We're not going to spend too much time on that one because it's all conjecture. It's like all guessing, and we're not sure. I'm not sure what we're looking at. So now we're moving on to Bloomtown: A Different Story. Once again, release date trailer for this one. Love Graveyard Keepers, by the way.
My darling daughter, Emily and Chester are doing well. Your city kids are getting used to the Bloomtown way of
What is
life.
my hat?
They started wandering all
Does anyone know
over
what my
our
hat is?
peaceful town. Besides, it'll do your kids some good to meet some folk with proper manners. I've put them to good use, doing some small chores around the house. It'll temper their
After the
excessive
trailer.
talking, I hope. Well, they're not bad kids after all. They don't go where they're not supposed to. I think they even befriended some local kids. Either way, they'll be fine.
I'm loving this
You
one,
know
by the way.
how nice and cozy Bloomtown can be.
September 24th, PC and consoles, including Nintendo Switch. So this one, we have a date. September 24th. This is looking freaking amazing. Number one, Graveyard Keeper, super underrated game. I freaking love it. It's just hard to get into at the beginning because the game doesn't really tell you how to do things. But I love this. This gives me, it's like a 32/16-bit RPG. It's looking to me it looks really good. I'm getting like vibes from like Cthulhu Saves Christmas, from the ridiculousness of like the characters compared to like the enemies. At the same time, like you're getting those classic 16-bit RPGs like Kids Saving the World, like whatchamacallit, the Mother series. Like, it's on sale, by the way. Cthulhu Saves Christmas. It's at $2.49 right now. It's going to be in the under $5 video if the timing matches with when the date runs out. But that is a really fun one-and-done little 16-bit RPG. It's super funny. But yeah, I'm getting like these awesome vibes, and I love the creepy aesthetics. Like, it starts out like a farming sim, like, you know, like a innocent farming sim. And it ends up being like this freaky, like, demon fighting like RPG. I freaking love that. I love that. I think it's gonna be good. Obviously, you know, we always have to take these things with a grain of salt, because, like, look, even the follow-up to Sports Story, I was super hyped about and looked good, turned out to play really bad. So we always have to take these things with a grain of salt. And actually, it's reminding me of Eastward too in its presentation. Although Eastward was like, you know, action-adventure Zelda-like, if we're talking about the presentation, the art style and everything, I'm sort of getting Eastward vibes from that as well. Yeah, and I'm down for the creepiness. Down with the creepiness. Instead of down with the sickness, you know? And, okay. Yeah, that was a really, really bad joke. Yeah. Every time I hear down with something, I think down with the sickness. Exactly. Okay, hey. The cap time. If anyone, you have to be a pro at baseball to know this. Close up of the cap. Who can tell me? Yes, man. It's the Expos. It's the Montreal's old baseball team before they got sold away and stolen from us. Yes. There used to be a baseball team here in Montreal, MLB team, and unfortunately, they got it. They weren't as successful as we wanted them. They got sold to an American owner, and he moved them to the States. So unfortunately, that's why I can't go see baseball games live, other than driving 6 hours to Toronto or like 4.5 hours to Boston. Yep. Yeah, it on camera it doesn't play that well, but live it looks really good. The little blue outline there. It's just on camera, depending on the angle, it doesn't play all that well. But yeah. Okay, so we've got Bloomtown down, top notch. I'm gonna go through like my top picks after that quickly, like once we have them all down. Next we have one that I am not very hyped about, but we are gonna watch because it is nonetheless a game revealed for the Switch. This is Fast Penguin reveal. Once again, I'm sorry if I think the music's going to be copyrighted. I'm going to be talking a lot during the trailers. Don't think this will be, but... Okay, so we have a free-to-play race game. Ew, brother, ew. Yeah. Free-to-play race game coming to everything. Fall Guy meets Mario Kart. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It reminds me of the snow level in Mario Kart. Like the downhill snow level in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, I don't want to be too harsh with it because it could maybe be fun, but obviously this is like, it's going to be a pay to, it's going to be a sort of microtransaction heavy game because it's going to be a free to play. They're hoping to cash in on the Falls Guy concept, but by directing it a little bit more with particular races. You know what I mean? And most likely, I'm thinking that this is going to be like, you have to join up for a cup. Cup is like 3 or 4 races. And every time the top 25, like you start out probably with like 50 people, and then the top 25 make it to race 2. Then out of the top 25, the top 10 make it to race 3. Then the top 5 to race 4. You know what I mean? It's most likely going to be something like that. I don't see it working any other way. Like maybe they could do like a cup with, top winners out of all 4 races, but I do think it's going to be like an elimination type Fall Guys game. But okay, we can try it, just not super excited. You know what I mean? So that's my comeback for this one. Does it look awful? No. I'm hoping it's not pay to win. Like, I hope that the what they're selling are aesthetics only, at least that much. But I'm not super excited for this one. Next. This one, I didn't pay attention to the trailer. So we're going to really be watching this one. Like the other ones, I had a vague idea of what they were going to be about. And I'd already heard about them previously because those were release date trailers that we got. They weren't reveal trailers, so I'd already seen the games previously. This one, however, don't remember seeing. So it's Los Piñeros. Okay, so once again, This is supposed to be a party brawler for up to 8 players, and it's a frosty free-for-all from Hectic coming to PC and consoles. Being Eros, you can correct my totally awful Spanish, but either way, it all depends on like I can see this actually working as a sort of like the Boomerang game that I have once again have a blank on the title on Switch, because that actually game is super underrated. Boomerang Fu. Like if this goes like the Boomerang Fu route, this can be really fun with friends. I'm glad that they put online. I just hope this is not a free to play. I'd rather this be like $5 to $10 and you can just pick it up and play with friends and unlock things within the game for free than them trying to sell visual aesthetics for this one, because I don't feel that this game's going to mesh well with that. So I'd rather they sell the game this time and really it be just a party game that you can buy and play. It's Brazilian Portuguese. You think it's Portuguese? Possible. Very possible. I'll be honest with you. I'm a fake Latino. I have Latin blood, but I do not speak very good Spanish, and I am not going to argue the origin of any of that because you know probably a million times better than me. So it's either Spanish or Brazilian, and but yeah, so I can see this actually being fun. However, like I said, I just hope it is not. I'd prefer to be you buy the game, you've got it, than a free a free. You're Latin American Rick Quebec. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm the least Latin American Ricardo Herrera on the planet. But yeah, okay. Lost Eidolons, Veil of the Witch. So this one, once again, didn't pay super a lot of attention. Play it on easy. Don't feel bad. Play it on easy because it'll give you time to learn the mechanics. If you try to play it on medium or hard right away, the thing is you die so quick, you don't have time to get down the mechanics. I found that it was way easier to approach that game by starting it on easy, getting the idea of the mechanics, but the game giving you the wiggle room to make mistakes, and then moving to medium and hard. And there's an immense difference between easy and medium, or normal, whatever they call medium, which would be normal maybe. But don't feel bad. Thunder Ray, I said it when we played it online. Play it on easy. It's not. The only Spanish part is los. Well, I thought los wasn't los in Portuguese, which is why I thought Spanish. But I could be mistaken. Maybe los is used in Portuguese as well. I was based myself off of that to guess Spanish. By the way, that's how I yeah. But yeah. Okay. So Lost Eidolons, did not watch this one. Only watched it I heard it, but I didn't watch it.
Do you fear death? Most mortals do. And for those who accept it, there is power.
Like the art style. Is this like a tactical? Yeah.
Back again, are you? Come now. You can do better than that.
Okay, so it looks interesting. Not gonna lie, this one looks interesting. It's a tactical fantasy RPG, and I like the fact that they're going a little bloodier. I think that's something lacking from a lot of tactical RPGs. Like, they often go with a cartoony look, no blood. People, get slashed, but like don't die. But seriously, oh yes, you're right. The numbers are really 300. Like, yeah, you're right. You're right. 300 movie. Like, if we look at the numbers, yeah. It's like they use the 300 font for the game for the attack numbers, but I sort of like the darker tone because I really like tactical RPGs. I just don't have time to play a lot of them. And I like going with more of a serious style. There's a freaking fly in the studio, man. There's a fly in the studio, and he's annoying the crap out of me. Another thing on the list of things I hate. Flies. Flies are like the most useless of the insects. Useless insects. Okay. But overall, honestly, I like the art style too on the characters. Like where we saw like cutscenes or this or whatnot. Love the art style. And the characters look good. Like, not gonna lie, she, yep. I can see this being a success. Everything's gonna depend on the gameplay though. The gameplay has to be balanced. The gameplay has to be good. Exactly, Rodrigo. I'm going to say everything's going to depend on the gameplay. I'm just saying at least visuals has it going for it. And it has a gritty art style that I think hasn't been done a lot on strategy RPGs, at least not available on the Switch. I'm pretty sure if we look at PC, we're going to find like tactical RPGs that have blood in it. I know I used to play some in the 90s on PC that had like blood in them, but I'm glad to see this a bit on the Switch, a little more grit to our strategy RPGs. Like, not everything has to be copying, like Nintendo, like, easy style. Okay, next we have the Stone of Madness. Now, this real-time stealth tactics game set in a Spanish monastery where we play 5 inmates looking to escape. So, let's watch this one. And I just want to see, do we have all of these? We have 2 more. No, we have more than that. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more coming for still from Gamescom. Woo! Like I said, tonight's going to be a packed night, boys. Woo! Boys and girl. No, I'm joking. I know there's more than one girl in our chat. I'm joking. Oh my god. My jokes are bad. Dad jokes. Okay, back to the trailer, and now I messed things up. I want this, and I want this. Okay. Let's take a look at this one.
I write these lines from a lost monastery in the Pyrenees, whose name and existence few know. Although I came here as a guest, I am now a prisoner. Luckily, I am not alone. A group of companions and I are planning our escape. We must confront violence, corruption, and our own fears. Thus begins our tale. May God have mercy on our souls, or whatever is left of them.
Almost got him there. I felt him on my palm. I just didn't close fast enough. Honestly, I'm sort of in between. I like the idea of stealth gameplay. I'm just not too sure. Personally, I'm like super interested in the setting. And I don't know. The gameplay doesn't have me convinced by what we see here. Like the controls feel a little clunky for a stealth game. Yeah, I'm on the fence. Rick, you're too positive. That looked like rubbish. When a game looks like pure rubbish, I say it. Like the racing penguin game, pure rubbish. But
I'm not alone.
this one, like, I don't want to discount it, but I'm not attracted to it. I said it. I'm not attracted to it. But I hate, like, other than when I know the game because of the developer or something is most likely going to be that, I hate discounting it because some of the biggest surprises I got on the eShop didn't look like good games. You know what I mean? You look at the thumbnail, you look at the trailer, and you're like, "Is this really good?" And then you play it, and you're like, "Oh man, it really is good." So I just don't like automatically discounting it, but I'm gonna say it doesn't look to me like something that I'm excited about. So if this comes out in even a relatively busy week, I'm most likely not going to try it. However, if reviews come out and it starts looking good, we'll play it. Perfect. And you guys know I give my real opinion on everything. I just don't like assuming. Like I said, other than when it really looks bad because of the concept, I don't like a discounting game just based on like the way it looked. Yeah, Tori, thank you. Tori's another example. Tori, I would have thought was a shovelware crap game, and it's actually just a really good game that they're selling at an extremely low price. Okay, next we have Beyond Galaxyland. Now here we are looking at no description on what the game is supposed to be. So let's take a look.
As the very universe unravels, and all life hangs in the balance.
An homage to the greatest RPGs of all time, so,
You better start believing in heroes. Guys? Stranded a billion light years from home. No idea if Earth still even exists. And a sentient gas cloud devouring the cosmos? You're not gonna save this universe alone. Skyrocket across the far reaches of the galaxy to assemble a ragtag crew of specialists that might just tip the balance. Though with every planet teeming with galactic nemesis.
Yeah, they seem to trying to go a lot on the sarcasm and humor.
Reality from behind the curtain. Defending time and space might be easier said than done. Beyond Galaxyland.
Okay, I'm gonna say one thing here that I like and one thing that I do not like about this trailer. Number one, you're right. I'm glad that they went with the humor and sarcasm, and I'm glad that there's a game here that is aiming on humor and sarcasm, because some of my favorite games as well take a very sarcastic view to them. And I like those kind of games. Like, I'm a South Park fan, I'm a Simpsons fan, so I like the humor, you know what I mean? And that kind of humor. I don't like the way they cut the gameplay here. It is very hard to get any good idea about the gameplay because they cut such small sections of gameplay together that you don't get to see a full sequence of like a fight during the RPG. Like you see the beginning of them, but you don't see any of the sequences. So I really don't like the way they cut the gameplay here. And that scares me because the bits that I did see did not impress me. And I'm wondering if the like combat gameplay is gonna be bad. Yeah, it's like I know trailers have to move quick and have to show like different facets of the game, but you have to be able to tell what the gameplay looks like. And that right now is a bit lacking. And why is what I see on screen not on the stream? Okay. Sorry guys, I don't know, my preview window was messing up there. But I just want to make sure that things were still flowing smoothly on the stream and we didn't get shut down yet for all the copyright violations we're going through tonight. But yeah, so I'm very interested in this one because there's some interesting concepts here, but I'm not convinced enough by what I saw to be like, oh, okay, this is definitely looking good. Because I don't like the way they cut the trailer together. And I really, really dislike when studios do that, where you can't even tell like what the gameplay is going to look like. Like, okay, different facets of the gameplay are going to look like. So let's move on to Sunset Hills. Sunset Hills. Oh, let's see. Description. Do they tell us? Sunset is a globe-trotting adventure game where you play as a novelist pup. And a new trailer revealed that is shadow dropping during the show. It's now out on PC, consoles, release coming. Oh, okay. It's already out on PC, this one. Yeah, same thing, Canadian Chick. I think they do well with a demo for that previous game. I'm once again, I'm like, I don't know. Like, art style looks fun, looks interesting. What are we getting here? It seems very narrative driven. So the problem with narrative driven is it all depends on how well the characters are written. So I think this is going to be one of those games where, you know, if the characters are very well written, it could be a super interesting story. I'm just getting, personally, I'm going to say I'm getting a little saturated with the point and clicks because this looks very possibly like a point and click. And I love that they're coming back, but we're getting a lot lately of point and clicks. And I find that it's a market where if it gets oversaturated, it gets dull quickly just because they all become very narrative driven and they all sort of at one point start meshing together into like the things. And I actually think that was one of the downfalls of the it is coming to Switch. It's just that it's down here, coming to Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. But I think that was one of the downfalls of the point and clicks in the 90s. It wasn't only the fact that other games came out, it's that there were too many. The market got flooded with them because they're I think they're easy to make from a programmer standpoint, but you really have to have a great script for them to work. Like your characters drive everything more than the gameplay. So I do think that that's one of the things that we have to be careful with that. But if they get really well written characters, this could be a hit. It's just all going to depend on that. Now we're getting to next
Peggy.
One I am super excited about because I love the first two entries in the series. However, it's a new team doing this one, so this one does scare me a little bit. We are going to be looking at Little Nightmares 3, which was also
Peggy
got
16.
a update trailer. So we already knew this was coming out, but we got some more footage. The guy from the last game is KK's cousin. I see it now. Now that you say it, Canadian chick, and yeah, I love KK's funny. Oh, hold on. I think we have a little more. Now, the feeling I'm getting from this, and we sort of saw it. This game seems to be focusing very, very heavily on co-op gameplay. So I'm wondering if they're trying to do a It Takes Two version of Little Nightmares. This trailer really gave me the vibe that they're trying to go for like a creepy version of It Takes Two. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. And I'm actually really personally, like, I love games that go the co-op route. It Takes Two, but once again, there can really only be so many of those games at once because you have to find someone to play with you, to sit down and play through the adventure with you. Convincing someone to do that once or twice a year, no problemo. Convincing someone to do that every month is going to be hard. Unless you have like a lot of close friends that are really hardcore gamers too, it's going to be hard. So, yes, I could teach Topaz how to control the other characters. I do, however, appreciate games that do have co-op like this, but allow you to control both characters at once and make it work. So this is where I'm like really looking forward to seeing which route they're going down. Now there hasn't really been another really good game like It Takes Two, so I'm saying like they could do this. There still hasn't been enough games like that, and there's been like a nice downtime since that game came out to hit us with a really good bigger one. So I'm watching The Fly, but I do think that personally, I just hope we can play it alone. I enjoy being able to play it alone because if I have to wait after my wife or something to play with me, sometimes I just want to push the game through. I like need to know what happens. And if she's not ready, it's going to be rough. But yeah, so I'm super excited for this one. I'm just I would like them to explain how the co-op gameplay is going to work. And we could always check out the website to see if they do explain it, but we're not going to do that in tonight's stream. But I think this one is a given that a lot of people are going to be excited for it. So we're going to most likely... If I can play it alone, we are most likely going to play it upon release because I love the first 2 games and I'm really hoping that this one is going to be. It could be only local as well. I'd have to check out the website for the game. Honestly, I was hoping they would flash it in the trailer. They didn't. And tonight we have so much stuff to go over that if I start looking through the websites, it's going to take forever. So we'll get back to it. But I do think that I like what I'm seeing from the gameplay. The visuals look good. I just really would like them to flesh out how the co-op's going to work. Oh, so now we're going for King of Meat announced trailer.
Which means it's always time for King of Meat.
Now, if you want a Fall Guys copy...
Ready for mayhem. Ready for gold and fame pouring from the sky. Challenges from the most twisted minds of the most ghoulish dungeon creators are transformed into monstrous reality. It's like a nightmare in dungeon form.
Oh, actually, it's not. Okay, guys, never mind. Scratch what I just said. From the... See what I mean? Sorry, I'm going to pause for a second. See what I mean by never judge a book by its cover? I did not have time to watch this trailer. When I saw it, I was like, ugh, another Fall Guys clone. It's not that. So we're going to wait till it ends, but it is not that. Okay, so now I don't think it's completely different from Fall Guys because obviously there's a visual comparison and there's like a gameplay sort of link here in the sense that I think it's physics-based and whatnot, but it looks like a co-op action game where you actually play through dungeons that you can actually design yourself, because at the beginning they tell you can design your dungeons. Now I thought you could just design your courses and like people could play them online, but where does it say it? It says it's at one point create devious dungeons. So you get to create dungeons. So this is like a 3D action dungeon crawler where you get to play in co-op with your friends. Have I kept up with Sono's Curse on Steam? No, I didn't. Sorry. But I can maybe check it out after tonight's show if it's on if it's only on Steam. But yeah, so honestly, I am maybe somewhat interested in this. I can see this going both ways. Like if the combat and gameplay is awful, it's going to be awful. But if this really is Kajik, you're going to hit out, awesome. If you want to see the future, the upcoming Switch games, I'm going to be posting them in a separate video tomorrow. Or you can come check out the end of the stream, but I'm going to be posting them separately in a video. So we haven't gotten to that yet, but I will be doing that after, and you can always check that out tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Okay, so yeah, honestly, I'm willing to give this one its chance. There seems to be an interesting concept here. I like that you could create your own dungeons. I like that there's combat, so it's not only Fall Guys trying to get to the dungeon. You can clearly see that there are combat sections here, and I've been asking for forever for a Zelda dungeon maker. You know what I mean? Like Mario Maker, a Zelda maker. Uh, Without this being at all Zelda, like directly Zelda related, this could be a first step in getting something that looks like that. So actually, color me surprised by this one. Sign up for future playtests. I actually might go sign up for that if they have a Switch version available. I might be doing that. King of Meat after tonight's stream. So we have 2 more left from Gamescom. And then we're going to jump into the upcoming Switch games. But tonight I said it like, I'm like, oh my God, we are going to die from trailer nostalgia, nausea. Not nostalgia, trailer nausea. I know, I would love. There actually is one dungeon maker on the Switch. I just was very disappointed by how limited the options were. It's bigger than I thought and smaller than I thought at the same time. I played it for a while and I was going to make a video about it and I just ran out of time, but we might talk about it at one point. If a downer week, we might go talk about something like that. Let's look at now Nico DeRico official announcement trailer.
It's nice to have someone else do the dirty work for you. And only that annoying mongoose always ruins everything.
Now, I like this.
You and your friends can't stop me. Ha!
Look, this is right up my alley. This is like the primary type of game that I love to play. Ukulele, Crash Bandicoot, and Donkey Kong Country smashed into one. Now, it has to be done well. The controls have to be crisp, it has to respond, and there has to be no technical issues on the Nintendo Switch. So they have a lot to get right here for this to work. But if they get all of it right, this could be an amazing game for me. And we like knowing that the next Crash game was canceled at Activision got me super sad. So I'm really hoping that they revive it at one point. Because Crash Bandicoot 4, by the way, was really good. It was a return to, like, I think one of the better Crash games. Super excited for that revival. I know it didn't sell as much as they wanted, but it was really, really awesome. And I thought Crash was a XM Tune collaboration. Look, this game is amazing. What's the name of it? The previous game? It is Nico de Rico. Like I said, all the links to the trailers and everything are going to be in the description after. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out after the stream. Actually, you know what? Let's not forget. Let's get all of this in here. Live stream, edit. I'm replacing yes. If you guys went, hopefully you didn't go to the stream yet, because for the moment it was last week's links that were there. There, all the links are there, so it's guaranteed you'll have access to them after the show. Nico de Rico. Now, Dave the Diver, we're gonna go through this, but this game, it's amazing. I really hope other games do this, doing constant crossovers, adding to the game like this, because this not only was the game amazing when it released, but it keeps adding value to the game. And do you know when this developer comes out with their next game, what a success it will automatically be, no matter what they try, just because they were so dedicated to this game? But let's get into it, but it's just amazing. You ain't going to be finished because there's more coming.
I'm Maya.
Now, I'll be totally honest with you. I have no idea what MXM Tune is. So if anyone wants to tell me, awesome. I didn't have time to check it up before today. I haven't had a chance to play Balatro yet. I know I'm missing out. I beat the basic content, yes, the basic storyline. Yeah, I know. Everyone tells me I need to play it. I know. I tried it. I loved what I tried, but I had time to play like 15 minutes of it, just so that I could get an idea of the gameplay to be able to describe it when it goes on sale, okay? And I realized then and there that this is a game I didn't want to play in between two other games. Like, I need to play it when I have time, like on vacation, to play only that for like a week. And yeah, so Potion Craft, Balatro, MXM Tune. I think at this point, it's not, the crossovers themselves are not as important as the fact that they keep doing them. And like I said, I love to see this, because like, this is great marketing for these other games inside of a really good game. And you know that a lot of people are going to just get this and replay it. Balatro can be played in short bursts. Okay, I might try it. I might try it more faster then. It's just I felt like I wanted to dive deep into the game. Okay. Now, let's close all of these because this is getting crazy window-wise. Lord of the Rings is going to cost me the whole stream. We're going to get blocked on YouTube. We're going to die. But yeah, no, I'm joking. Okay, first of all, we're not actually going to... I wanted to look at a short part of it, but I actually wanted to start by coming back on the game that we talked about last week really quickly. Now we awesome. We got a ad. We got 2 ads. Okay. Now this is a video done by Switch Stars. By the way, Switch Stars, if you've never watched him, I linked his video up here. Check it out. He does some really good content, and he specializes in finding like the trash games and calling them out as trash. Okay, he doesn't only do that; he does reviews, but lately he's been doing a lot of calling people out for trash games. And this is a game that we looked at last week, Shadowblade Night Symphony. If you remember, it's the game where you teleport using where you teleport with the knife. Like, I'm just going to show that quick. I said it could be good, it could be bad. Apparently, it's really bad. Okay. If you want a take on the Concord situation, yeah, I'll talk about it after I'll talk about it after we do all of this. And I'm going to give you my real take on the Concord situation, where I think, hopefully it's going to be a medium. Like, I'm going to talk about it honestly. And if you disagree with my take, hopefully you'll keep watching the channel. But, no, don't worry. It's not going to be too bad. But it's like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat what I think about the Concord situation and just the gaming situation in general about a lot of things. We'll talk about that at the end of the stream. I just want to really make sure that we do the section of upcoming Switch games. But what I want to say is I wanted to shout out Switch Stars. They did a really good. It's not a review as per se, because it is and it isn't. He got to the 3rd level, and the game is so bad that you can hardly finish the 3rd level of it. So watch it, or just don't buy Shadowblade Night Symphony. It looks like a trash game that basically is recycled, or it just looks like a game that they said, like, you have 2 weeks to develop this, do what you can, and no matter what happens, we're putting the game out. That's the feeling it gets. And I'm saying 2 weeks, but it could have been like a month, you know what I mean? But it basically looks like recycled assets thrown into a game with a really interesting concept, but that absolutely had no polish whatsoever and is barely functional. So, number one, don't buy Shadowblade Night Symphony. And if you want to check it out, I linked to his video. By the way, Luke was also worked with Alex on a lot of content for, I think, the PlayStation's channel or the Xbox channel that he was running. So this is Luke's main channel. Check it out. He does some great content. I would even say subscribe to the channel, because he's going to make sure that you get it. No, we're not going to stream it because it's 9 minutes long, and I really want to get through the Switch games. Stream the game? No, I'm not going to stream a game that I'm at level 3. And honestly, I just don't want to give them any more money. Even if it's going to be laughs and probably fun content from a laugh perspective, I don't want to give them any more money, because it's... I got it after Grovel. I'm like, at 1 a.m., my brain's starting to go meh. But yeah. Okay, so just wanted to shout it out. Check it out if you do want more information. But we did get an answer. This game is not so. If not, at least give a shout out to Switch Stars. Let him know we shouted out his video, and go drop him a quick comment, a like on the video. He just saved me money. He saved you guys money. It's all good. I love saving money. Okay, now let's get into the actual Switch games coming out this week. Now, the first one that looks very interesting is going to be Crypt Custodian. Very hyped about this game. It looks beautiful. Problem is, I have about 3 other reviews I'm working on, so I'm going to try to review it, but it is a very big try. If not, maybe we'll stream it on Friday. Yeah, you guys are right. She looks like Topaz. So yeah, that is Crypt Custodian. Honestly, only thing, some of the animations do look a little stiff, but it can work very well for this kind of game. Love the fact that the cat is the main protagonist of this. Numero dos. Like seriously, this looks very interesting coming out on the eShop. I love my like sort of like Zelda-like explorers. Now this doesn't seem like overworld and dungeon. It seems like the dungeons and the overworld have been smashed into one. It is a bit pricey, however. It is coming out on August 27th, so theoretically it's out now, or it's coming out during the 27th, because for me it's already the 27th. However, it is selling for $19.99 on the eShop. So I do find it a little pricey. Would have rather seen this one around $15. However, I mean, we'll see. Okay. Yeah, Raven, Crow, or Magpie. Yeah, it looks like oh my god. What you call it? Yeah, well, I reviewed it. It's the Zelda-like where you play a crow. Death's Door. Thank you very, very much. Yes. However, Death's Door animations were much smoother than this game, and the combat doesn't seem to be Souls-like combat. Like, it does seem like you're going to have to react to things, but the combat doesn't look as diverse and complete. So I wouldn't put this at the Death's Door level. And when I'm saying this game is pricey, it's selling pretty much for the same price as Death's Door, which is why I find this pricey. You understand? Like, at this price, at the $19.99 price tag, Death's Door. Okay. Next, we get to the 29th, which seems to be the day where every freaking game on the eShop is coming out. Because after this, every other game that we're looking at today is coming out on the 29th at the same time, which is Thursday. Now, next we're going to look at Emio, the Smiling Man from the Famicom Detective Club. Okay, we've talked about this game a lot of times. We're going to watch the trailer quick because I want to cover all the good games or the decent games that seem to be coming out this week. But we're probably not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. We've talked about it a lot in the past. I think at this point, either you're convinced that you want to try it out or you're not. And if not, this trailer is going to be your best chance at seeing if you want to try it out. So let's watch the case briefing number 1, which is going to give you an idea of how the game plays out. This is going to be $49.99, and it is releasing on August 29th, as I said previously. And yes, there is a demo for this one for free in the eShop.
はい、わかりました。今から向かいます。
被害者は発見された時異様な様子だったと。
彼が発見された時のあの姿が18年前に起きたある事件の被害者とそっくりなんだよ。
まるでエミオの話じゃないですか。捜査一課の久世純子です。
お、探偵くん。
エミオは紙袋をかぶってこういうの。
Emio, the Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club.
Okay, so that's about it for Emio Detective Club. So it's like very visual novel-esque. It's a mystery game. Basically, like I said, either you want to try it out or not. My biggest problem with this is that it's $49.99. It is expensive for a visual novel. I personally will not be paying $50 for this game. Not because maybe it's going to be good. It's just that for me, at this price, I'm not enough into this visual novel style to buy it when I can get a Batman Telltale game on sale for like under $5. Okay, which I've played and they're great. And I'm not saying this is not going to be great. I just find that for a Western audience, they should have released this at like $30. Okay, and even that would have been like a decent price. So that are my thoughts on Emio. Looks probably good if you're into the murder mystery stuff. Just a very pricey in my opinion in what we're offering, but it's Nintendo. Okay, it's Nintendo first party, so it's obviously going to be pricey. Hey Topaz, can you sit on me because we've got trailers to watch. Next, a game that I am actually really excited about. Just once again, I don't want to pay full price for it. And on top of it, if you want to go for the bigger packs, it is extremely expensive. The base, we're going to be looking at Gundam Breaker 4, also coming out on August 29th. Base game sells for $59.99. Now, Topaz, yes, you're trying to step on me here. Because she's like, put her paw like 5 times, like put her paw backed up, put her paw backed up. Yes, you're going to get pet.
Hey, you! I want you to build your ultimate Gunpla! Welcome to Gundam Breaker 4! Here you can build, battle, and show off your Gunpla. Fight and break off parts from your enemies and add them to your collection. Customize 11 individual parts on more than 250 base kits, and that is the most ever! There's so many new Gunpla! The main mobile suit from The Witch from Mercury. The only mobile suit to best the area. You know you want it. Ryusei Fudo's custom Gunpla. Hathaway Noah's mobile suit is as cool as it is big. And this new Gundam based on a real Gundam statue. With more Gunpla, the possibilities for customization are endless. And this also includes the new SD Gundam. Woohoo! Finally! Now you can create more than ever before. With the new SD Gundam parts, you can really go wild. It's amazing that from all the
So this is a pretty long
kits,
trailer, but it's worth watching because it's going to give you the gist of why the game looks good.
Then add a little bit of flair by easily changing the colors. Preset or completely customized, it's up to you. You can also change the size of each part, and that's just crazy! In GB4, you have the freedom to express your creative spirit! Build, battle, and show off like never before! Let everyone see your talent! Gunpla Battle Blaze Beyond Borders! Gundam Breaker 4!
Okay.
Coming August 29th!
So, that is Gundam Breakers 4. Now, the Gundam Breaker series is actually probably one of the best, like, casual Gundam series you can get into. And I'm saying casual. There's a very high top end, but you can also just get into it to the fun of building robots without actually knowing Gundam and have fun with the game. Now, you're going to get your ass booted online if you don't really know how to play. But at the same time, like I said, from a casual perspective, if you just want to try it out, the Gundam Breaker series is actually, I'm really glad we're getting one of the good ones in North America because it generally is, I love Gundam. I watched most of the animes and because I love mechas, you know, to begin with. We don't get enough of those games on Switch. And it's one of those fun games where you can just have fun making your own mechas, trying to get things together differently. It is, in my opinion, a very decent game to pick up if you're a Gundam fan. Once again, price point is the issue here. $60 for the base game, and I think it goes up to almost like $90 for the deluxe and then the like super deluxe version, is way too expensive. I can see this game at 50% off being a huge pickup though. Like at around $30, I would definitely jump in right away. I might jump in right away at full price, but I'm talking about like main market if you want to just try it out and you're not sure. I can see at 50% off, and I don't think we're gonna have to wait long. Bandai Namco does that kind of thing where they try out the game at full price, they go after the whales, and then basically Black Friday you'll be picking it up for like, you know, $30 maybe, or maybe 40. You know what I mean? Like a good like 25, like 30% off. Had such great potential to become a huge multimedia franchise, but they ruined everything with the second movie. Yeah, you're right there. They went like they went too hard in the comedy sense, and like they didn't keep the first movie, even though there was like big comedy to it, like you felt the tension, and you felt the like you were worried that they were going to lose. Like, you know, it's a hero movie, so you know they're going to win. But the first one was amazing, and you really felt the tension, and you felt the impact of the storyline. The problem with the second one is at no point in the movie did I not think the heroes were going to win. They made it into a Power Rangers movie, and I love Power Rangers, but Power Rangers is not Pacific Rim. It's not the same thing. Like, Power Rangers, you know they're going to win all the time. You know what I mean? The second one, it was just like, oh, look at this cool robot. Look at this other cool robot. Look at this even cooler robot. Like, you're like, okay, dude, this is like, yes, that's part of Pacific Rim, but it's not only that. Like, they didn't focus anymore on the pilots needing to be in sync. They didn't focus on all that. You know what I mean? Like, that was a big part of the first one. And then it's just like, oh, anyone can just pilot it and it's fine. We you know, doesn't matter. Oh, you always need two pilots. Well, no, not if it's small enough. Then you can do it with one pilot. What? Like, what does size have to do with controlling the robot? Like, I don't think it was directly related to the size. It's most likely the like difficulty of the complexity with the human mind. So making the robot smaller doesn't make it less complex. Anyway. We're going to stop there because the second movie made me angry. Another thing I don't like. My God, my list is becoming infinite. Okay. Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. We've talked about this game a lot as well. Also coming out on August 29th. This one is going to be selling for $19.99. Let's watch the trailer, talk about it shortly, but I'm not going to be able to talk a lot about this. We've also played through the demo on stream, so if you do want to check it out on the channel, I have a full playthrough of the demo available from a couple of weeks ago. I did 3 demos in that video, or 4 demos in that video, in that stream. We did them back to back, and I'm pretty sure Shadow of the Ninja was the first. Reborn was the first one. Okay, so we have Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. Now, if you do not know, this is the remake of a classic NES game. Okay, however, it's been completely remade. One of the best parts of it, in my opinion, is the fact that you can actually play in co-op play for a 2D action platformer. But even in solo, it is a super solid game on the NES. Now, I'm going to share. Well, I'll share something with you. I'm going to be honest. I am not going to talk about my thoughts about this game anymore at this moment because I'm embargoed. Okay. If you want my thoughts on what I was feeling about the game so far, the only thing I can say, I'll talk about it from the demo perspective. When I played the demo, I loved the demo. The game is harder than it was on the NES. Okay. But other than that, I'm not going to share my thoughts on this game anymore for the moment because I want to be a legit guy. I'm embargoed and I have too much information about the game that I cannot share at the moment, and I don't want to break that. So I'm just going to say reviews are most likely going to be coming out very soon for this one. If you want a feeling about where the game is going, there's a free demo available on the eShop that you can download right now. Or you can check out my gameplay of the demo that I did a few days ago. At that moment, I could give you all the thoughts I had on the demo because I was not embargoed at that point. So if you understand what that means, you'll understand why. And, you know, that is that. And we'll talk a lot more about this game, most likely later on in the week. And this is not trying to say good or bad, okay? I'm just saying I don't feel comfortable talking about it because I'm scared I would say something I cannot say because I have to remember exactly where the demo ended and all of that stuff. And right now, it's a little mingled in my mind. There we go. So hopefully that game is coming out this week. It is a game that I think you should keep your eye on. Another game that we also played on demo is coming out this week. And I've got to say that playing through the demo of this game, now it is Gory Cuddly Carnage. Free demo available on the eShop as well. This one is also coming out on August 29th. It is going to be selling for $21.99. I am just going to say for this one, well, this one I'm not embargoed or anything, so forget that. It's just that we played the demo, and the demo is super fun, yet it has not convinced me that a full game of that craziness is going to be fun from the beginning to the end, because this game goes hardcore on the crazy. Like, it goes bonkers to the walls on the crazy. Okay, we're gonna watch the trailer, but just before, I'm gonna sum up what the concept of the game is. You are a humanoid cat who is riding a hoverboard that he can turn into a saw, and you're fighting zombie unicorns. This is the base concept of the game. Humanoid cat riding a hoverboard that he can turn into a saw, fighting zombie unicorns. If you had to sum up the concept of the game in one sentence, this is the concept of the game. It is so insane that part of me loves it, but part of me wonders if after an hour or two, the sort of awesomeness of the craziness is going to wear off, and then you're going to wind up realizing that you're playing an insane game that just goes too over the top to feel like a actual solid gameplay concept. Okay? Let's watch the trailer and you will see what I mean.
16.
I had not seen this trailer before I said this sentence. So it is so funny that it starts with, there's a cat on a hoverboard fighting evil unicorns. What did I just say the game was about? And I'll explain. There's one other concept too that happened. And like I said, I invite you, you can watch me play through the demo. You can play it yourself. Also, the other part to me that I'm not sure I enjoyed about the game is that most of the combat, I felt like I was button mashing and doing anything. Like there, and I'm sure that after a few hours I would get into it and you can also control better which moves you're doing at what time. But it does feel like a game that is so over the top that you just end up button mashing and doing crazy crap all the time. I like better games where you feel like you're good at the game. The game just feels like when I played the demo, it just felt like, okay, I know what I'm doing, like I know where I need to go, I know what I'm doing, but I don't feel like I'm getting good at the game. I feel like the game is just insane. You know what I mean? And I can button mash my way through most of it. But look, I just think I need to experience the full thing. The demo is going to tell you, okay, is this game too crazy for me or not? But I'm worried that after like 4 hours of crazy, I'm just going to be crazied out, if that makes any sense at all. And we have, so that is what I think about this game. One to look out for, I would just maybe definitely try the demo before picking it up and maybe wait for some reviews to see what the full extent of the game is. Again with the commercial. Okay, next is a game that I'm actually really hyped about as well. This one is Depths of Sanity, coming out also on August 29th. This one will be selling for $19.99. However, there is a pre-release sale right now, and you can pick up the game for $16.99. I don't okay, hold on. I just want to address Acrophobe's comment there, and I don't disagree with you, Acrophobe. I do not disagree with you, but if you saw the gameplay, you would understand why it's different. And I'm not saying it does. You're not right. You are totally right. The base concept of Mario is insane, but the gameplay is structured in a structured way. The gameplay in Gory, Gory, I always forget after that, Gory Cuddly Carnage is structured in an insane way as well. And it's the gameplay that I think I would get tired of because there's no there isn't a solid enough structure to it where beyond the fact that you're like, haha, I'm sawing unicorn. Like, sawing unicorns is really fun for like the first hour or half hour. But after 3 hours, are you still going to have fun? Because the basic concept is you're sawing unicorns in two. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's where I mean. And they just went balls to the wall with the crazy. Okay. So let's get back into Depths of Sanity here. Why is the visual quality so poor? I'm sorry, guys. The trailer, the visual quality is like somewhat poor here. This doesn't look like an act. Hold on. Give me a sec. I think this isn't an official trailer. I made a mistake when I took it. Depths of Sanity trailer switch. Okay. Sorry, guys. Scratch that. That was like someone that pasted together some random gameplay, and it was not even done in like decent quality. It's actually it's a sea exploration game. Yeah. Personally, I find that looked sick. I'm sorry. To me, that looks sick. It looked good. But I see what you're going there, Rodrigo. It's water level the game. So you're probably going to... Honestly, I should stream this just because you're going to hear me complain all throughout the whole freaking game that it's water level the game. No, but I'll explain to you why I don't like water levels. Because you run out of oxygen. From what I can see, there doesn't seem to be oxygen in this game. I hate water levels because in Sonic, you die when you run out of oxygen. And that is what I hate about water levels. But this does not seem to be doing this. So I can deal with this one. That's why I hate water levels. If you know, I hate drowning in water levels. But yes, that is why I hate water levels. But it just seems incredibly narrative driven, and there's some visuals that are insanely interesting. And I love the fact that this is like underwater exploration. Oh, when you die, when you touch the water. Yeah. That's the other thing. Like, I also, yeah, it doesn't also make sense sometimes when you die in games when you touch the water, when you play a character that should be able to swim. Now, if you're playing a knight in armor, it makes sense. You would die. Like, a knight in armor would, like, sink to the bottom, and there's no way you can swim with armor on, and there's no way you can take off armor quick enough to not die. But other than that, you're sort of right that you shouldn't die when you fall in water. Like, especially when you're like, I don't know, Tarzan in a game and you die when you fall in the water. Dude, Tarzan can swim. Okay, but honestly, I am super hyped for this game. It looks amazing, and I definitely want to play this one. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to have a review out pretty soon, because I'm already, like I said, overdone with reviews. Because, by the way, I have the review written for whatchamacallit, I have the review written for Castaway. I have the review written for Minami Lane. I have to film those. I have to edit those. And I have other games, as you could tell from the fact that I'm embargoed, that I'm going to have to do as well. So, yes. Depths of Sanity looks incredibly good. So I am super excited for this one. I definitely think we should keep an eye on that one. I think it's already out on Steam for a while, so I think we already know it's pretty good. Now, the next one is sort of my I'll be honest, my long shot of the week.
A public security officer. She's among the best.
Hold that. Now, the next game is my long shot of the week. This game could be really bad, or it could be really good, because I love the concept of Marble Madness. And this is sort of Marble Madness evolved. But like I said, it could be really good or it could be really bad. However, if I looked at the previous games published by the publisher, they were actually decent games. So I do think this is going to lean towards possibly a decent game. But as a kid, I grew up, I loved Marble Madness. If you guys know what Marble Madness is, you know what it is. And this seems like an evolution of the concept. So, like I said, evolution of the old concept of Marvel Madness. However, if you also know Marvel Madness, it's most likely going to be a frustrating game. But honestly, this looked good. The movement looked good. The quality of the graphics looked good. I like the music accompanying the trailer. And if the gameplay can hold up, this could be a super fun and interesting game. Also, it is being sold for $11.79, so it is the cheapest game on today's list of games to look out for this week. This game is not going to be meh. Hopefully, it is not going to be meh. Hopefully, it's going to be good. Yeah, it's like a Super Monkey Ball, but like I said, it's if you know the old game Marble Madness, it's like it's basically you had to guide a marble to the bottom of a course by basically tilting to make sure that the marble didn't fall off. Now this gives me sort of those type of vibes, and it just really looked fun. The movement looked fluid, and there seems to be some really nice power-ups that you get later on that look fun and interesting. So this is like my long shot of the week, where I hope I have time to play this one a bit and at least get an idea. Even if I don't do a full review, I hope I get at least have time to get a full idea of, is the game fun or not? Exactly. It is sort of like last week's game that I pointed out that we looked at the review of. It could be good, it could be bad. And I think I'm going to do that a lot. When I say that these games are in between, if I do get an answer the week after, we're going to do a quick return on one or two games that, okay, this game was actually really good. Okay, this game was actually really bad. I think that's going to be a fun thing to do from week to week. That way I get to give the info without necessarily doing a review on them for games that I know I'm not going to review. I'm so tired of getting the commercials. By the way, guys, what I did this week to smooth it out is I opened like a shit ton of windows, and I had half the trailers already opened ahead of time so that we didn't have to deal with the ads every time. Which next week I'm going to try to have everything open. It's just that this week there were so many trailers that I didn't want to have 25 windows open and like run out of like RAM and have the videos F up. Next game I'm also hyped about because it is another game in the Valfaris franchise. Valfaris Mechatarion. And it's funny because we looked at a game like this last week that looked terrible, and this game actually looks decent. So, let's take a look. So it is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. Now, do you guys remember we looked at a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up that looked totally like cookie cutter, like bland, like last week or the week before? And I was like, look, we're looking at it because it's more like a warning, and I want to tell you guys this game actually doesn't look good because that week was a little bit quiet on the good-looking games, so we looked at some medium games as well, or more games to warn against. This one looks freaking good. Like, this looks like this concept with the art style and the gameplay to make it work. Yeah, it's a dude floating in space game, but it looks freaking cool. And that's what you need. If you're going to have a game that's just a dude floating in space, make it look killer. You know what I mean? Like, this is your sole concept. This is all you have. At least make it, like, freaking look good. That's what they did here. I loved Valfaris as well, and I find the concept works with Valfaris. Hopefully the soundtrack that we heard is going to be the sort of soundtrack we're going to get from the game. So a really nice metal soundtrack like Valfaris, once again, your first game. I can see this working. Yeah, but the only thing is, if it's as hard as Valfaris is, it's going to be a game to watch out for on the difficulty scale. But I can see this being a freaking insane pickup. Once again, though, a little pricey at $19.99, especially in the shmup market. A lot of excellent shmups are available at full price around $10. This be going for $20 is like a premium price for shmups. Very premium price for shmups. So that is the only thing. And the last game is also one that I am super hyped about. And we get another freaking ad, man. Sorry, guys.
The union of fruity sweet gummy and tangy crunchy nerds. Nerds Gummy Clusters. Unleash your senses.
Now, next week, as long as we don't have 25 trailers, I will have each and every one trailer open ahead of time, so we will not get ads. Yeah, 20 is too much for, like, a shmup. Like, you have to be a premium shmup to be that expensive. Like, you have to be in one of the premium shmup franchises. Like, you have to be a final, oh my God. Title-wise, I'm freaking garbage. But you have to be basically in one of the long-running franchises like Raiden or... I don't use ad blocker by concept. I make money off of ads on YouTube. Why would I, like... You understand? Like, for me, I understand that on a personal level, it could be fun to have ad blocker, but I don't do it by the principle that I don't... if you're blocking my ads, I don't actually care, but I hope you guys aren't. But so to block other people's ad, I would feel like dishonest would be the best word. Like I'm trying to make I try to make money for the channel off of YouTube ads, and I'm blocking other people's ads, so I'm watching their content without them getting like the piece of the pie that they're allowed to. You know what I mean? So yeah. And that's just it. But like I said, to each their own. I'm not judging anyone out there who decides to use ad blocker. I understand why you would use it. It's just that from a perspective, I would feel like the last person on earth that should be using ad blocker. And on my principles, I'm not going to use it because, yeah, that's it. Okay. Because, I'm a person that I love free content. However, I also like supporting the content that I really enjoy. So if I'm watching stuff on YouTube, why am I not supporting the person that I'm watching it? R-Type, thank you. That is another one. And the other one is the other... R-Type was one of the ones I was looking for. But yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's get into Voltaire the Vegan Vampire. I'm getting slight Cult of the Lamb vibes from this one. Okay. Now, I'm super interested in this one. However, it's another one that can swing both ways, because they're giving us very little vision of the actual combat, and because there's a boss rush mode, so if there's bosses, there has to be some form of combat, and we did see slight moments of it, but once again, they're not giving us a clear vision of what the combat is like. So this is another one that I'm just going to say, however, it can swing both ways. However, Freedom Games and GOG generally does decent work, okay? So I don't think it would ever be a bad game. It just might not be a awesome game. I can see it swinging both ways. Once again, $19.99. It's not a cheap week for the eShop games that look decent. And when I say look decent, these are the ones that catch my eyes. Because last week I really felt bad after when I said that I chose the non-trash games. That was really the bad way to talk about it. Because I actually missed a game last week that I think looks actually good after it. And then I said, oh man, I said I talked about all the non-trash games. These are the games that captured my eye, that stood out to me. Okay? There are some that, yes, looked bad when I looked at them. And there are others that just didn't catch my eye. And like I said, so I do want to just correct that from, I said it last week, I corrected myself last week, but I felt really bad about it worst after, because if a game just doesn't catch my attention, it's just like I said that it was garbage. And that's not what I want. You know what I mean? Like I said, I try to be a very fair person. And I think that some games out there can be great, but they misdesign their thumbnails into non-interesting thumbnails, and they do trailers in non-interesting ways, which don't help their games get put forward. Like, you have no idea how much a thumbnail on the eShop and a trailer is important for games. Even for reviewers, I need to make a decision. We just went over like, what, 12 games coming out this week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 games that I caught my eye for this week. I have maybe time to review 2 games. How do I decide which are the 2 games that I review? The trailers. So do you realize how important it is, even from a developer's perspective, to have a super solid trailer? That's how you get your games noticed. And if you can't cut a good trailer together, hire someone to do it. It is worth the money, and it is probably not that expensive. Some trailer designers will do really good ones for not a lot of money. But yeah. So those were the awesome Switch games, or the games that I think have potential. Awesome is not a good word either, because we haven't tried them yet. But these are, to me, what are the games for this week that caught my eye, that have potential, and that we should keep an eye out. Next week, I will try to come back with either reviews on a couple, or at least like we did into next week's show, we are going to talk about... like, you know, maybe if I watched reviews from other people, what were the comebacks for the games and what I think we should be looking out for. Okay, so we are done with the new Switch games for today, and we are done theoretically with our normal subjects. However, a very good question came out, which is the Sony game, Concord. And I'm going to give my take on it, and this is probably going to be like the controversial part of the stream, but I did say that from time to time I was going to go into controversial subjects, so we're going to do that tonight, and I'm going to try to do this without pissing too many people off, while at the same time being very honest with my opinion. So hopefully none of you are going to get angry at me, at least along. And if some of you do, well, you know what? We can talk about it in the future. Okay. I think with our entertainment media right now, we have an issue. We have a big issue, movies, and we have a big issue with video games, and we have a big issue with social issues being pushed into every form of media. Okay? Every form of media is getting pushed social messages that really should not be pushed. Not because they're not important, just because oversaturation of a social message is actually going to have the opposite effect and are going to actually fatigue people. Just like anything else in society, if every time you turn around, look, I'll compare this to when COVID was out. Who could no longer freaking hear about it on the news. And at one point, you were just like, look, just stop talking to me about it. I just can't deal with it. You know, like, just stop. Just stop. It is the same thing with social issues. And by pushing them into every form of media, you're actually hurting your agenda. Okay? And personally, I see myself as a very open-minded person. Very, very open-minded person in the sense. And look, maybe my vision of myself is wrong as well, because we have our vision of ourselves, and very rarely does someone see themselves as the villain of a story, okay, of their own story. But I personally don't think that I try to be a very open person. However, at the same time, I have core values that sometimes are not going to be shooken by anything and certain things. And I'm the type of person that you can live your life any which way you want. You can do any which way thing you love, and I will respect you for it, as long as you don't try to push those values all the time on everyone else. Where I get fatigued by everything is trying to get values pushed on other people, whether I agree with them or not. And that's the same for myself. I try to not push my values on other people, which is why I was very careful in this with the ad blocker. I explained to why I don't cut ad blocker, but you know what? If Champ tells me he uses ad blocker, I'm still going to love Champ and I'm still going to respect him. So you don't need to put, in my mind, where the line gets blurred is when these agendas get pushed everywhere. And we're going to get to why this is related to Concord. Because I think the game is getting too harshly criticized for pushing an agenda that not necessarily it's really trying to push. But at the same time, it's a result of the fatigue that we've had because of these agendas being pushed in every form of media. Okay, so now that we've set that out, there is a very strong push through all forms of media right now to be very, very, how can I say this? A very, socially acceptable on every level. Okay? So, you know, there has to be representation in every game of every lifestyle. And personally, I disagree with that, especially when the game has settings in certain type of settings. And not every game needs representation. Hyper-inclusivity, yeah, would be the best way I would say. Hyper-inclusivity, thank you. That is actually a super good term to, like, a term. Hyper-inclusivity is, in my opinion, destructive to the media. In the sense that forcefully pushing inclusivity into everything is just as bad as forcefully not being inclusive. Does that make sense? Like, both extremes are not the correct approach. So if you want to include a character with XY lifestyle in your game, you should be able to. However, if you do not want to include it in your game, because in your concept of what's happening in the game, there is no relativity to it, you should be respected for that as well. And instead of making a case about it everywhere, all you should do is buy the games that you find respond to you and buy the games that don't respond to you. And now we're going to start from a marketing perspective, which is Concord. And this is where we're going to get to Concord. Within anything that you're trying to market in any business, the first thing you need to know is what your core audience is. You have to know what your core audience is. So if you're making a cozy life sim, Are you going to make all your characters Giga Chads and frat boys and soldiers and warriors? No, because you're making a cozy life sim. Right? So, because like I like to flip the narrative the other way around. You know, like right now there's a push for inclusivity everywhere. Okay, so my cozy life sim. So if we want to be inclusive of everyone on both ends of the spectrum, if we want to push it, that means that every cozy life sim has to have like the Giga Chad, a super aggressive dude, bros bro, a frat boy, as well as all the other perspectives. You understand? Because we're being inclusive here. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you're making a 5v5 shooter, who is your main audience? Most likely 16 to 35-year-olds. Most likely people who are attracted to gunplay, action, whatnot. So your audience is boys and men primarily. I'm not saying women can't play these games. They can. They're just not your core audience. You're not going to have 95% of women with 5% guys playing Concord. And we're forgetting that games, you want to identify with your character, but you want to identify with your perfect version of that character often. Because games, contrary to movies and others, there's a big escapism to it. And you want to play not only a character you identify yourself with, but the best version of yourself. The exaggerated ultimate version of yourself. The Giga Chad version. And whether you are a person who identifies as a super intellectual guy who likes to attack with stealth, like what's his name, Genji in Overwatch, well, you want to be the ultimate version of that, so you want to be a freaking ninja. And if you want to play the hardcore soldier who, you know, holds the line, well, you're going to play Soldier 76. 76, right? 76, yeah. If you want to play the tank that, like, rams into everything, you're going to be playing the dude with the big shield that I can never remember his name. So my perspective on this is that, unfortunately, they made a game where the core audience are not the characters that are there and don't want to play with those characters. And the primary thing for a 5v5 team shooter is to have characters that people want to play as. And because they want to sort of be inclusive, they basically made a game for an audience that doesn't want to play games like that. If that makes sense. And that doesn't mean that you can't include a character or two for people who would want to identify with that. But when each and every one of your characters, like, you know what I mean? Like, who basically when you try to make a game that is too much for everyone, you make a game that is for no one. If that makes sense. So when you make a game, you need to identify your core audience, make the game for that core audience, and then if you want to throw in some spice of inclusivity, add it as spice to the sides. Or just don't include it. And if you're not into that because for you, pushing a policy is more important than having fun in a game, then just don't buy the game. But let people who want to play the game that way play the game. And if we have to, and if people have to respect games that want to message inclusivity, let people make games that are guys games as well. Like just a game for like bros. You know what I mean? Like gym bros and guys who just want to play as Giga Chads. Like, let them exist as well. And it's not exactly. And like I said, look, the same exact thing happened to Marvel movies. You're forgetting who the core audience of the Marvel movies are. Star Wars. Who is the core audience of the Star Wars movie? You can try to push your agenda, but the core audience that are interested in the movie aren't there. Like you exactly. It's the best way to alienate anyone, and it hurts your cause. And just look at everyone jumping on freaking Black Myth Wukong for not being inclusive enough. Who gives a crap? If you don't like that it's not inclusive, whatever. And you know what? You can voice your opinion that you rate the game lower for not being inclusive. Okay. Don't play it. Yeah. Look, I loved Final Fantasy X2 as well. And I played, and you're playing as girls the whole time. But if someone says, you're playing as girls, I don't want to play it. Okay. No problem. It's all good. Who cares? Like that's where I'm like, that's it. So that is my take. It's like I said, I didn't want to frustrate. I don't think my viewpoint is gonna make anyone mad, but it's like, honestly, I even myself from time, and look, you guys see the kind of games I play. I play every kind of game. If you want to play a freaking visual novel about dating, I'll play a visual novel about dating. I might not like it as much, but I'll play it because I give every game its chance. If you want to play a 2D platformer with a cutesy character, I'll play the 2D platformer with the cutesy character. But you know what? I want to be able to play a guy like a real like masculine failing game from time to time as well and enjoy it. And I don't want to feel like, oh my God, I'm a bad person because I'm playing a game that isn't like inclusive enough. Like, come on. We're playing games because you want to escape reality, not have it forced down your throat like everywhere. And it's not even about being forced down your throat, because there's nothing wrong with anyone living the way they want to live. But like I said, it's the overcompensation on the other side. Dude, it should not even be a discussion. It should not even be a discussion. More inclusive. And they're like, there's no women in the game because the women, like, either the reviewer didn't get past the first third of the game, because I watched Asmongold play most of it or a lot of it, and there's women all over the game later on. Like, so either someone played like the first 15 minutes and said like, there's no women here and what the hell. But that's it. Oh, Frenchie Mom with a $5 donation. Thank you so much. Very appreciated. So I don't know if that's because you agree so much with my opinions, but you just gave me the Maple Man little gift there. Not gift, but the icon. But yeah, so, like, I myself, I'm just tired of having every game politicized and having everything politicized. And like, as much as I don't mind having diverse characters in a lot of stuff, at some points it just feels fake when it feels forced. You know what I mean? When it feels forced, it just doesn't make sense. I always gravitate towards cutesy-vanias, but never expect Chads to be into what I like, but none of the Chads expect me to play theirs. But that's the thing is, like, if you knew me growing up, there was a point like in my life where most likely I was like a gym bro, Giga Chad type looking person, but I was watching like anime and playing that stuff. So judging a book by its cover is always super dangerous. And because I've never had problems with any of it, but I'll be honest that I am getting fatigued by it feeling like placed in every game. You know what I mean? Like every game and even every movie, like I said, you're like, oh, okay, they gender swapped her. Yay. It's the female version of that character. Oh, it's the male character of that character. Oh, they made that character gender fluid, or they made that character they made a straight character possibly be gay, or vice versa, and that stuff. And I'm like, when it was occasional, it made sense and it was fun to see. When it's in each and every frame of media, you're just like, okay, I guess, that's the necessary inclusiveness in this show. And that's where it loses its validity. Does it make sense? Like, it's not that it's bad. If you want to do it. But the more you force feed it into everything, the more it loses its validity. And it's like, and that's the problem with it. And I also dislike the fact how anyone who just says like, look, I don't care about it and I'm not going to play that game. I'm just going to make the movie I want to make, or I'm going to make the movie I want to make, that they get called like a transphobe, a homophobe, a all the phobes, because just not wanting to partake in it does not make you the enemy. Like, you don't have to be a pro or against. You can just be like, look, I'm going to do me, you do you. That's the sort of thing. And that's where I find we've lost the respect, that someone can just be like, look, I'm going to do me, you do you, and that's it. So we've gone around the subject. Now I'm just going to start repeating myself and saying the same stuff in different ways. That's where I'm placed on the Concord thing, and that's why Concord failed. I'm telling you right away. And I think a lot of people didn't play it as a message to say, look, I'm not even trying your freaking game because this isn't what we want anymore. And I think other people just didn't play it because it didn't appeal to them. And the people who the visuals would have appealed to don't play those kind of games on average. Does it mean some play? Of course. Just, you're not going to have 30,000 people. Yeah. And on top of it, like the gameplay, because I did try the beta, the gameplay is like meh at best. Like meh. It's like a less fun Overwatch. And like with Marvel Rivals coming right around the corner, what game do you think I'm going to wait to invest time in? If I want to play like a team shooter, a new team shooter that isn't out yet, I'll be playing Marvel Rivals rather than Concord, as awful, not interesting looking character models. Marvel Rivals. It's almost 2 a.m. I'm starting to blah 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 cottonmouth. But yeah, so we are done. That is my take on all of that. If you now hate me, well, you hate me. If you don't, you don't. So, but I think I stand behind it. I most likely will be on between 9:30 and 9:45, so like between a half hour to 15 minutes before the direct starts, so we can get warmed up, we can talk about stuff, and then we can get going. So, guys, I'm going to be tuning out because I need to get at least like 6 hours of sleep before I need to get up and get ready for streaming the direct. So, direct is tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So have a great one, guys. Thank you all for showing up. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. And hopefully, eventually, we'll be able to get a show that's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. Have a great one, guys. And I'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully.